Good morning to everybody. I hope, I'm sure the weather is different everywhere somebody is. But I hope it's comfortable, and if there's rain, it's gentle and not for long. And I'm grateful to have everyone who's coming today, and I so appreciate you coming and being here with me. I hoped, and I'm going today to put Babaji up. I did get busy this weekend. Let me make a note here in case you want his image. I hope you enjoyed that his coming and being with us. So today is the Eye of Horus series day, and the being who showed up was Isis, which tells me we're going to receive some healing on our throat chakra. So let's talk about that for a moment. So in case you didn't know what that's all about, you can. The throat chakra is where you can express God in the front chakra. And no, it shouldn't be this small. It should be about 6-7 inches around and very gentle, which as you grow, it's going to get faster and faster. And the back of the throat chakra is loving the self, accepting self, confidence, thinking that it's good or bad, which understand in God's energy, there's no good and there's no bad. All things just are, or isness as it's called. He would prefer for you to do the best you can every day without having a judgment upon it, you see. Oh, I'm trying to get rid of this. All right. So a lot is going on healing-wise in the fifth chakra, which is the throat. So Isis, I don't know if you've ever seen the book, is about the sword. The tongue is the sword. The sword of good or bad. Not that I just said there wasn't any. But is it a positive action of words or is it a negative action of words? Know that anything that you speak and put out into the universe continues for forever. It isn't that we release a thought or a statement and that it's only right here. Unfortunately or fortunately, it's there for until the end of time if there ever is one. So what is there for us to do about it is this is how we begin to become conscious, not only of what we're thinking, but what are we putting out into the world. You know, first thing I heard today when I got cleared and set the energy for everyone is there's going to be a lot of changes happening. Some aren't going to make people happy, and some are going to make people very happy. So it's almost like it's a period of time where we have to find our happiness within ourselves and not find it in the world creating happiness for us. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about peace is an existent within you. And it isn't until you find it deep within you that you're going to even see it outside. Because the way you see through God's eyes is through how you've developed who you are. So if you see a lot of uh, negative things, rage, anger, there's still some part of you that holds them. It's a mirror of what's going on for you. So as I get the message things are changing, I prefer to believe they're changing because you're changing up into a higher space so that you see things different, that you don't have the old response anymore to how things are because you've begun to feel them differently inside the self. And if you have a question about this, you can certainly ask me. Um, if there's things you don't like, you got to ask yourself, why don't I? And I would think during that winding of that understanding, you're going to find something inside yourself that you need to bring a brightness and the light to it and see deeper about it. Because, God creates everything. And there's those things we see as negative or bad. But if we can go back to the core and the understanding of what it was for, we can begin to understand that there's always light. And there always will be light. And you'll be able to find peace. So let's continue with the beginning, which I kind of just started off here. But Isis is still here. She'll be here when we get done. But let's set the energy and we'll say hello to everybody. And then we'll talk about what she's going to bring and work with you with your throat. So, yes, you can think about that word sword. And what does the sword bring up inside of you in the thought process? Does it bring up, I don't know, I'll wait and let you tell me. But it can mean clear. It can mean to let go. Versus other things that humans can begin to believe that things are. So, let's bring Mother and Father deep within our hearts. And let's take a breath. And we'll be grateful and excited about their ever presence coming and being within you each and every day. We're going to call in the different phylums of the angels and begin to understand that one is not better than another. They all have a purpose. And the peace can be found in understanding that all things are taken care of. Perhaps not always how we as a human thinks they should be, but perhaps when you have begun to see with divinity, it is an understanding differently to understand all things as are they are meant to be. And then we'll call in the masters like Isis who's come in today and welcome them to be a part of our life and part of this channel. And may there be peace throughout the world. And in asking for that request, we ask for peace to lie within us. So we must begin to see the 144,000 parts of ourselves and feel the beginning of a surrender on a wide scale of how in the past we've held intentions, actions, relationships, so many things, and begin to let them all turn into peace and harmony. So we'll offer to the universal beings if you are on your path of light and hold light and find that wonderful peace and harmony within you, you are welcome to come and join us on our journey. All right. So today, we want to say hello to those who are here. Good morning, Chase. Always welcomed. Thank you for your love. And Cavell and Barbara, good morning. And Barbara is wishing everyone a blessed week. And Marby, good to see you. And Christina, good morning from across the world. And Julie Johnson, thank you. And I saw Carol here somewhere. Has she left? There she is. Carol, I slipped right over you. And I appreciate that you're glad to be here. All right. So let's say our mantra. I am the soul. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. Take a breath. As we reach this out through the cosmos, letting the masters and God all know that you are here and you're beginning to learn who you are. Yes. So, Isis coming for the throat. Have you become aware that a lot of people have neck issues? Some of them have very bad neck issues, whether it's been in an accident or a fall or born that way. It's everywhere. And yes, we must understand that that is a pattern, an understanding that is an error, that needs love to transform how the energy is being held in the neck. So, an example, I know of a woman who fell and did break her neck and had no confidence, wasn't sure how true love worked. All the different things that were in that chakra were ones she needed to work on to transform. And the neck slowly, certainly the human experience of how it had been repaired wasn't going to meld away, but could certainly bring a greater comfort to her and without fear. So today it's now for you as Isis has those beautiful wings that are so beautiful out for either side of her arms and very long. And certainly the one hand has her healing sword in her hand. No, not she's going to take our neck away, no. But in her gift of touching that neck, if we can begin to get a sense of, for you, what is it that's going on? That, there's one vertebrae that's seeing the future and traveling. There's another one about holding balance. Yes. There's another one about being willing just to live life as it is and without fear. So the vertebrae and the higher ones, the cervical, are all a part of the neck and of that fifth chakra. Don't kid yourself. It all works together. So, and sometimes, yes, it does become immovable. Now, let's think about it. What would that mean on a auric level to the chakra. Well, it would certainly say that the chakra wouldn't be moving 6-7 inches around and radiating truth. So the hope would be there that there could be enough energy brought forth and a healer can bring about a harmony that can bring healing to the whole area. So, is there anyone here who has a neck that is in continual difficulty for you? Or times when you don't want to speak, or you're hesitant, fear of judgment or criticism, or never want to sing. I'm just looking for someone to help and help them to feel better. Well, I could just show you what they would do. Yes. So, for a moment, I see ourselves in front of Isis's temple, which, of course, has huge effect of like a Roman, the tall pillars and the white marble steps, and as you walk in, a large opening with marble, and you'll see the one fountain. All the masters' first opening and beginning are very similar. So, yes, she is a blue light. Okay. Here's a couple people who are sharing hesitation about speaking. So, what she would like to do is have you step up and imagine that you're standing in front of her. And she's going to pull out the energy, which is tied in a brain, the part of you that has freedom in the throat. And as she does that, we'll have her be working with Barbara first, if that's all right. And there are a lot of braids to be removed. Ashapo Kinte, Wanda. Just let them go. And Carol, she's also going to start with you. Anybody else? Yetapekente Shapo. So energetically, as she undoes the braid, the energy will not be as tight and restrictive inside the inner part of you, which is connected to the heart. The heart and throat, the heart and the brain are very connected in their expression and perception. So there's an energy of the heart that's now reaching up to want to rekindle its awareness to this energy from the throat that has been separate. And what it gives you is the offering to be able to speak love. And also to give up the need to be accepted by what you speak. So acceptance was in the back of the throat. So this is also going to be shifted as you have a freedom to speak and a freedom to accept yourself and to not have to accept what other people think. And this is where we relinquish power to other people to be in charge of us or to think that they know better. So you can see a whole level of strength restructuring itself inside of you, all from working with your throat. That you are a powerful being, because who you're going to be connected to in the front of that throat will be to your godliness. And that you speak of love to people. And I always tell people, well, you can say that to them, but the idea is to speak it with love to people, not with an order. Or, well, of course you have to do that, or try not to manipulate with it. There's so much manipulation in the world when it comes to words and the voice. And the work here in the throat is about feeling appropriate to let go of manipulation, not only of yourself, but how you were taught. Many parents, and it isn't to bash parents for sure, but it's all purposeful, maybe why you even chose them. For you then to have to learn that there's a love in the world. And it is through love that people hear you. It is through love that you motivate. It is through love that you feel kindness come back inside your heart. And there's a difference in the response a person will give to you when there's a smile on your face and your eyes are lit up with the light, and you can love them, lovingly say, well, could you do it this way, please? It would work out much nicer for me. When you come to a workspace, there is no different about what I'm saying, because kindness is what gets what you need to express where you want it. So she's still releasing, for some people, these braids. They look to be from ancient times, when there were many times some of you lived and could never speak. You weren't allowed. The word I get is it was like a punishment. So it's enough time for that. We don't need that memory. So let's let those braids of that be taken away and illumined. And we're going to plant a beautiful flower of kindness in place. And some of you may feel yourself changing in a whole expression of who you are. Remember, how you express now is through kindness and love, not with a tantrum. That tantrum speaks to times when you were withheld from being able to speak your truth. And it is that energy that Isis helps you cut away with a loving sword. And let that sound open your heart and bring your throat and your heart into union. Feel the tightness. Release. And as you're finished with your healing, she offers you to go down toward the fountain and stand and let the beautiful light blue of serenity rinse your entire being. Take your time. Very good. Did you all know? Thank you, Cavell, Christina, all those who've shared. Do you know people criticize when they maybe don't understand or aren't wanting to reveal their short-sightedness? So it is time now to know much has moved from your throat. And you're welcome, Carol. And perhaps you've even had the critical voice to yourself. It's all about love. It really is. It's about loving you, every cell of who you are. Yes. Every cell of who you are. We're not going to all look the same. We're not going to all sound the same. We're not even going to all feel the same. And that's what's wonderful about the time we're in. We do all have a part and are a part of the whole. We all have God that's within us. And that is exactly why you have a freedom that not a lot of people have if you've allowed yourself to own that place within your heart. That Mother and Father live and are alive, and they would never be critical of you, ever. So now we're going to unwrap a fabric, something that was perhaps darker, wrapped up, closed up. Everybody who might feel that, just let it unravel around and around and around. And as we do so, it's turning into a beautiful gold. And we forgive those who did not know that what they were doing was harming you. The more we can forgive and bring more love into our heart, then we have walked further down the path. So forgiveness, I forgive, I forgive, I forgive. Because on this day it's a lesson. Because on this day it is a truth. Because on this day you can now speak kindly and with love, more so, to every person. And even if there's still a speck of you that still has not released, you know how. You know there is a way. So very, so gently, Isis touches her sword, not to harm, but to give it light and empowerment and freedom and love and kindness and gentleness and, of course, happiness. Oh, 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 wonderful, Chase. Thank you, Barbara. Carol. So let's see in the next few days what it is like about speaking or sharing. Judgment, criticism. She is showing me an arrow of each in the back of your heart, your throat, I'm sorry. And with your willingness, she will pull them out. Ashabokite. This is a taught lesson. This is how you have been taught to be with yourself and with others. Whoosh. Ah, and forgiveness. Simply forgiveness. For those who desire, still go again and go down into the fountain and let the beautiful light blue light surround you, releasing and letting go. And there's one other thing that speaks to me. It's the part of you that hesitates to ask for help. Good. The door has been opened from a time when each of you perhaps were told, shh, to now you are in choice. Ah, we will be grateful to the Eye of Horus for setting us free from fear, for setting us free, allowing us to be who we are meant to be, light. the light, the light. I am Isis. Hear my voice. Be free. And so we'll say thank you to Isis for coming. And Chase, if you're speaking to me, I always forgive myself throughout the day. But thank you. Julie says powerful. Wonderful. Very powerful. You're welcome, Marvin. Welcome to everybody. Unfortunately, before I got on, I didn't have time. This one will not be taped. So this is for those who are here. Would you not know? Yeah. It does go very deep. You may feel every once in a while, maybe even a coughing or something. You're welcome, Christina. Yeah. You're welcome, Chase. And thank you for all the loving and wonderful things that you all do for other people. It is why we're really here. It's what the deep awareness within ourselves is about. And the ease just keeps coming easier. Yes, it is a wondrous way to think about it. It's on an adventure. It really is. And even while I wouldn't try to go up a huge side of a mountain, I would walk up a mountain, which has been done. We used to travel with people, and I know I always tell you about things, but in Colorado we found a cave where the energy of Babaji reside. You walk back in the cave, and there was this just similar to Badlands. And one day, a picture showed very faintly all the masters sitting out in front of it before you walked into the cave. And that there was this one powerful light, kind of like a rainbow light. It was very powerful. We went quite a few times out there with people. So, how cool is that? All the while, being the adventure that Douglas and I have been on. And we're grateful to have met all of you. So he's going to be coming on soon as a guest, I guess you would call it, as he has his own gifts. All right. Anyone have a comment or a question before we go? I am just so touched by how much you all allowed yourself to release and let go. And always remember to love yourself. First thing in the morning and the last thing at night is when you're closest to God. So when you're loving Him, love yourself. Okay? So we'll be back tomorrow to do messages. So I want you to have a great rest of the day and be aware of how you're speaking and how it may change. It's going to be interesting to see how now the throat connects to the third eye. Okay, here's a question. Her daughter asked her why we are here on Earth. Well, you know, Earth is truly a classroom. There are others, but many of us are here to go through learning about the chakras and about ourselves and eventually become more light and help God. They work for God. So I would say that we're here to grow. Some people this time, at this period of time, as the earth is getting ready to ascend, have lowered their energy and given up 97% of who they are to have to start the journey over to become ascended again. And what that's doing is helping people see that people are doing the work and they're evolving and to join. So there is a path of ascension of where you become light quotient higher, consciousness higher, perception and how you see things totally different. And the most important thing to remember is you don't become someone else. You become more expanded in the truth of who you are versus that without the light. Well, yes, everybody's had many lifetimes during our process of being here on Earth. Like I said, I've had 149 something thousand of them. But during each one of them, we have something that we're learning about. There's a purpose. And there is a blueprint that says, this lifetime, this is what you're here to learn. I have met people that say, next lifetime. Well, good for them. Oh, yeah. There's just so much. Like I said, it's like once I really got the gist of it all, I could not stop. Someone asked me, how come I have so many of the masters and all around me? Because they remind me of who I am and who I could be and wanting to attain that. They've been on that same journey both you and I are on. You know, they've done the work and they've achieved. So it's a reminder to know it's possible for anybody to get there. So I love their journey. I love hearing about how they did it. I love having them close around me. And there's a place where we are all one. And the more you grow and the more that oneness touches you, then you have ones that are just like you all around you to remind you consistently. So thank you to all of you for coming, for growing, and thank you for being here. My heart has a great love for all of you. Yes, it probably could be a journal. I have many journals during my younger times when I just wrote about everything. I don't do that so much now, but perhaps I will again. once you get to a certain place of evolution, you will start to remember little pieces of places where you've been. Like I have a really strong one on Atlantis, standing watching out over the water, waiting for someone to come home. And one of my issues is being alone and waiting for someone to come home. Very interesting, don't you think? So we're all learning, we're all growing. So I will see you tomorrow. Have a blessed day, and we'll talk then. Many blessings to all of you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.